Well, I just have to say, as a wife, I'm a little bit, it's, as you know, it's not the most like, let's say, an aggressive sport, right? Football, like he had a concussion last year. I mean, he has concussions pretty much. I mean, we don't talk about it, but he does have concussions. And I don't really think it's a healthy thing for your body to go through like through that kind of aggression, like all the time. And that could not be healthy for you, right?
That's Tom Brady's wife, Gisele Bundchen, or just more known as just Gisele. Are you okay with what she said?
Look, I think there's probably some merit to what she's saying. I think she's probably telling the truth. Now, would Tom want her to divulge that on CBS this morning with Charlie Rose? Would the Patriots organization want her to say that? Because Tom Brady was not on any injury report or gone through any protocol at all whatsoever once he came back from suspension, week 5 and on. She specifically said he had a concussion last year. He has concussions every year. If we want to just look at last year and you go back and you look at the injury reports on the Patriots, Tom Brady's never on it.
I totally believe her. I think he does have concussions every year.
Yeah, I tend to as well. I think most players have concussions every year. I have to think. Even as much as we limit hitting in practice and we protect this and helmet-to-helmet collisions, they still happen constantly.
100%.
So I think she's probably right. Now, Tom is probably irate that she said it.
You think Tom could go back to Gisele and be like, hey, Gisele, she makes $16 million a year more than Tom Brady does.
She's like,
she
the
makes
bacon's home. Come on, I'm home with the bread.
Yeah,
I just won the bread.
$30 million a year. I was actually fascinated how broken her English was. That turned me on so much more to her. I don't know if I could say that, but I just did. Like, I thought the English would be a little bit better. Hey, learn English a little bit better. You're in the United States. That's such an American thing to say.
Very, very ass-brained American of you. Very. She knows 2 languages. You know freaking 1.
I barely know 1.
You barely know 1. That's a good point. She's really good at 2. I'd love to see you speak Brazilian.
Are you kidding me?
Portuguese. Hey,
Yeah.
Another American. What do you? Be honest with me. What is the conversation like? Does Tom say, "Hey, Gisele"? Like,
yes.
is there a moment like when Steph said to Aisha, "Aisha, you can't tweet this stuff."
Right.
You may be right, but you can't. This makes it harder for me. This makes the water I'm sitting in hotter. It makes Bill's job and Kraft's job tougher because now they have to answer questions about why I wasn't on a concussion list or on an injury list because of something you said to Charlie Rose on CBS this morning. Just you can express. And I think everything she said was dead on. And I think she does worry about her husband. I think she worries about the health of her husband when he's 50 and 60 years old and they're having grandkids.
Or who runs the NFL? Who oversees the whole NFL? Who's the commissioner of the NFL?
Goddle.
Okay. Who hates Roger Goodell?
Yeah.
You think that family?
I would think so.
It's almost
more
like
than any. I know Tom Sr. Tom had to put the mute button on his dad and say, "Okay, Dad, enough. You've said what you said about Tommy should play every day.
I wonder if this is a little dig at the NFL. Like, yeah, my husband, sure, he has concussions last season, he has concussions all the time. Just like all those other players in the past that you just ignore. That you come out and you say concussion protocol isn't real. That, no, there's nothing to worry, nothing to see here. Nothing to worry about here. Nothing. It's football. No, these guys know what they're doing. They know what they're getting into.
Gisele feels like, wow, my husband has worked so hard to make so much and has gained so much success that it's made so much money for the New England Patriots, for the NFL, and yet, I'm worried about him because it is this aggressive sport. Now, he signed up for it. And I really do feel I always want to bring that part of it up. It's a choice to play NFL. It's
a choice to play now.
If you're that worried about your brain,
it's a choice to not play now with the understanding of ramifications, which they still.
It's like smoking. If you go buy a pack of cigarettes and then you get lung cancer.
I know, but at least
it's hard to have sympathy.
At least they have the label of cigarettes. Right. Here in the NFL, like, no, there's no label. Let me just sweep this right here.
We're just getting to transparency.
Just sweep this. So I think now it's a little bit easier than Brady when he started playing football 30 years ago as a kid, as a 10-year-old, or however old he was. I think you have to have a talking with her. And obviously, who knows how they were able to script this? Maybe like, yeah, let's bring the concussion thing to the forefront. How it's not recognized. I'm not sure, but I do know this. When you have a conversation with your wife, you really want to make sure everyone's in the right peace of mind.
And I'm sure if Tom was at Fashion Week and he's like, I'm telling you, those Dior heels didn't look that good, and Gisele's making some money from Dior, she's like, Tom, what did I tell you? Don't talk about the heels. I'm making my money that way. Shut up. These are conversations that couples have to have. And if we've learned anything, they speak Portuguese in Brazil. You don't speak English that good. And there's probably some merit to what Gisele is saying, even though maybe she shouldn't have said it.